Why do people read the Niagara Falls Reporter? Well, according to publisher Frank Parlato, it's because they're not afraid to publish the truth.
Hi out there, this is Tony Farina inviting you to read the Niagara Falls Reporter online or in print every week. We're not afraid to tell the truth. We don't pull punches. We give you the best we can about what's going on in this area, whether it be politics, government, budgets, Seneca gaming issues. Whatever we've got, you're going to have. So check us out, Niagara Falls Reporter.
And the Reporter is factual, fun, and it's free. Pick your copy up every week at Tops, DiCamello's, or Tim Hortons, or read it online at NiagaraFallsReporter.com. You know, trees are nice, but they need to be taken care of. And now's the right time of year to trim up, cut down, or clear up the trees on your yard that concern you. Do it before the snow flies. The best way is to call Backwoods Maple Syrup and Tree Cutting Service at 628-7481. Whether you need a whole tree taken down with the stump removed, or you have some questionable branches that need to be addressed, Backwood Tree Service is the most reasonable way and professional way to get the job done. They're fully insured and ready to serve you. 628-7481. And while you got them on the phone, ask about the real maple syrup. Season's coming up, and you won't want to miss out. Backwood Tree Service and Maple Syrup Company, 628-7481.
The opinions expressed on NiagaraBroadcastNetwork.com are those of the host and the guest, not of management or the sponsors.
The Sal and Rose Show.
Lovers know a special place, Niagara Falls. Romance shows on every face in Niagara Falls.
And I've been kind of leaning away from politics the last few days, just talking about things that are in the news. But tonight, we're throwing all that out the window. We're talking about everything because Roger Spurback is back with us. Where you been, Roger?
Long time no see, Sal.
I know, buddy.
Well, I moved out to town Niagara.
I know that.
And then 5 years ago, I left the Niagara Falls Block Club Council. And I love it out in the town. I just love it. And there's a lot of things going on. But you know what? When I was in the city, I raised hell. And there was a lot of good ideas that we had. But politicians, if it wasn't their idea, they didn't want to hear it. So tonight, Sal, I think we're going to talk about some other things. Okay? The reason I'm on is we had a discussion about dog shit.
Yes, we did, yeah.
So tonight we're going to talk about the dog shit. Let's talk about some political shit. Let's talk about some personal shit. Some bullshit, and then my favorite topic is shitheads.
Roger, wait a minute. You're setting the stage here. You know what? You do that. You know what's going to happen?
The shit's going to hit the fan.
That's right. I think that's what's going to happen, Roger.
I can tell the shitheads because they always have corn in theirs.
Oh, jeez. Well, okay, we're going to talk about all that, and I'm sure that
the shit's going to hit the fan.
And so, and let me ask you this, Roger. If that happens, say it does hit the fan, are you going to feel bad, or are you going to say...
You're full of shit. You are full of shit.
That's all I want to know. What's
Sal, as someone said a long time ago, yeah. The first time I went in front of the city council and raised hell, when they were going to cut police and fire back in 1990, I believe it was, the Illy administration. They said, Roger, you're nothing but a shit disturber.
I just want to set the stage here. Roger Spurback is here with us live. It is a Wednesday night. We're on the air till 7:30. And if you want to call Roger and talk about his shit delivery, and I mean, not on the show, he actually, well, we'll tell you in a minute again if you missed it. He's delivering dog squeeze to people. But if you want to call him about it, we're live at 333-3020 on a Wednesday night till 7:30. Dial the number carefully. Willing to talk about this, huh?
Yeah, you know what, Sal? Let's be honest. Ever since this issue came up, we put new dog stations in the park with bags.
In a town park. You're talking
in the town parks.
Yeah.
And our outer parks, we put some dog stations in too. They're well used. People in the town respect the town and the property that belongs to the taxpayer.
Right.
The problem is I have a couple of people that live.
I'm laughing already.
They walk. They walk to the park with
Yeah.
their dog.
Sure.
And you know what? If you have a dog this big, Sal, he isn't going to shit a pile this big. It's going to be small. And I kept telling the same guy for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
You got to pick up after your dog. You got to pick up after your dog.
Right.
Well, before, you know what he was doing?
No,
he
he
was taking his grass clippings and dumping them behind his house into the park. And we were getting all kinds of rats. And
But what do you do with the park? Why are you so concerned about the park? Just because you live there, or you're like a...
I work there, and I have to walk in this sometimes because I mow the grass, and other people that come to our concerts, I want the concerts to be dog shit free. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you got some nice concerts at that park.
And,
yeah.
and you know, here's the thing. The thing is, 99% of the people that come in fill up those dog stations. They are very honorable, respectable people. You always have 2% of the general population that's either criminal or probably a dog shit dropper, because I'm going to tell you, Sal, the way it is, I've dealt with this guy for even when I worked in the highway department. And the thing is, I've told him and told him and told him. Finally, I started taking it, dropping it off at his driveway. The same stuff that he leaves in our park. Now, I don't do it on park time, neither. I do it on my own time. And the one time I dropped off about a bag of about 25 pounds.
So let me just get this straight. The guy comes and lets his dog poop in the park
Yes,
that you help maintain.
yes.
So you warned him. He doesn't listen. So you take his dog poop and bring it back to his house?
Yes. It's where it belongs. It don't belong in the park, so I can step in it. You ever smell dog pooping when it's 95 degrees out and you hit it with a mower?
Yes, I have, yeah.
Well, here's the thing, Sal. After this issue came up, and I met some friends of mine that I retired with from Delphi. They all
Yes.
work
Yes.
in all the other parks throughout Niagara County, and they said, Roger, you hit it on the bullseye. Maybe we should start doing the same stuff because we're getting a lot of...
So are the people there when you bring back the dog poop?
No, half the time they're down having a coffee somewhere. I leave. I usually, they know who I am because I usually say from Roger, and I give them my address.
And nobody has ever come back to you and said...
No, the one guy, with the 40 pounds, I was driving by with the mower, and he picked this up, and he tried to throw it at me. Well, the bag broke, and all the dog shit went over his own lawn. So that's his problem, not mine. The same guy that was dumping the stuff in the forest that I told him, the next time I see you dropping it, I used to
Now, can't you just say to the police, look, here's the guy, here's his license plate, he drops off and he doesn't clean up after his dog.
Okay, I had a talk with the chief last week. The chief said, Roger, look, get somebody to take a video. And if they'll swear to that they seen him drop it,
Deposition, yeah.
I'll go over to that man's house and I will write him a summons, and he'll get between $75 and a $500 fine.
Okay.
Okay, now, here's the problem, Sal.
You'd rather just deliver it back to him.
No, the problem is you have the right to know who turned you in.
Okay. Yeah.
So if I turned him in and I'm a little lady that's 80 years old, he's going to come and retaliate against me some way.
Possible, yeah. Possible.
I mean, he can retaliate to me anytime he wants. You know what?
No.
I don't care.
Okay.
As long as he steps on my property,
So-
I'll give him 45 pounds of dog
So
shit.
how much dog poo have you delivered?
One, two, for him, I've been constantly delivering it. And
Where do you put it? On his porch? On where? Where do you?
I put it right in his driveway.
Oh.
And I put it at his side door twice. And I had a long talk with him because I went over and pounded at his door and said, you can't do this anymore.
And what did he say?
And he said, okay, I'll carry a bag, Roger.
Perfect.
So the next day he comes out and he's got a blue bag. Sal, it's filled up with this much stuff. And I said, your dog has shit this big. That bag, it's got rocks in it. So the one time I pulled up and he didn't think I was watching him. I watched him. I pulled up and said, you're going to pick it up.
Did he?
Of course he did. I gave him the bag and I said, you're going to pick it up or else I'm going to call the police and you're going to go somewhere in court.
Okay. Yeah.
But now he's smart because he doesn't come during the day. He comes on weekends when no one's there.
Well, but how do you know it's him? Other people maybe walk their dog in that park. How do you know it's the same guy?
There's three people I'm dealing with. I've been in the park on Saturday.
Can you tell the difference in the dog squeeze, whose dog it belongs to?
No, but you know what? I've identified four guys, who two of them are at Miller. They have these big dogs. I mean, these big Rottweilers. And they're pretty big, too, themselves. And I'm thinking, holy Christ, look at the size of this shit. If I hit that with the mower, it's going to go all over the ball diamonds.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. And he puts it in the same spot all the time. Okay. So I know the guy that hangs around that spot all the time on Saturdays, if I drive in there, he's there. I've confronted him one time, and he said, wasn't my dog. Okay. Maybe it wasn't. But then again, maybe it was because I haven't seen a dog that big in this park with that much shit. It's about 8 pounds.
Is this guy right? Is he? Look, we're at 333-3020. We're live Wednesday night till 7:30. I'm going to check and see how many people are watching in a minute because this is funny. Is Roger right? Should he be doing? You got a better idea? I don't know. So
the town board said just take their license plate and then call, turn in the license plate. They'll hunt them down. But then I have no video. He could just say he's angry at me.
right.
And he's just making it up. So, Sal, I don't carry my cell phone on,
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to ask the county to give us some cameras,
Yeah.
which we should have had anyway.
A dog poop camera, so you could.
Well, whatever
Yeah.
crime prevention. Is that what it is?
Poop prevention. 333-3020. Hi, you're on the air with Roger Spurback.
You just hit the all-time low of your show. All right?
Why?
I
What?
thought you were low when you had Mike Hudson on, but right now you just hit the all-time.
Why is that? Should people?
Roger, didn't you go in front of the town about this?
Yes, I did.
And they told you not to do it.
No, they said they take the license plate number.
Well, what I read in the Buffalo News was they advise you not to take it into your own hands. Now, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Sal, is there an ordinance in the town of Niagara about people not cleaning up after their dogs?
Yes.
Yes, there's an ordinance. So any place you can't.
Between $75 and $500 fine.
Okay, so what you just said was you walked onto this man's property and dumped a pile of dog shit on
His dog shit, not mine.
all right, whatever. On his property. You walked on his property. So you trespassed. See, it sounds like it's becoming a personal vendetta with you and this guy.
No, not that guy.
Listen, years ago,
Okay, listen.
we were taken to court, because our neighbor told the police and the judge that our dog made a mess on their lawn. So my mother went to court and pleaded our case out, and it all came down, and the judge asked the neighbor about it. He says, oh yeah, it was definitely, he's a nice man, they're great family, but it was his dog. And you know what my mother's response was? Well, how do you know it's his shit? Did you smell his shit? Did you go smell his ass at the same time?
How do I know it? I watch it happen.
But you can't take the law in your own hand.
I'm not taking the law in my own hands. If you dropped the cell phone off and I found it in a restaurant, wouldn't I bring it to your house?
It's not exactly.
I'm serious.
You're going after people because their dogs are not. I understand what you're saying. They should be responsible for their dogs. But you take this out of control.
No.
Right? It's like a personal vendetta.
It's not personal vendetta. You know what? He's starting to conform. He's starting to conform after 8 years. Because he knows that, you know what? There's bags throughout the park. We put 5 different stations in. Okay? Everyone that comes into the park, they respect that they're responsible pet owners. But you always have that 1% that continually wants to say no to everything.
Okay. What is your job in the parks department?
What's my job? I mow the grass, and I weed whack, and I take care of the landscaping, and I water the plants, and I do a lot of other things.
Are you in charge also cleaning up stuff? You find garbage on the ground? Is
Yeah.
that part of your job? So you got to take the good with the bad. All right? I understand what you're saying. You're getting frustrated. But sometimes, Roger, you go off the wall. And
Of course I do, because you know what? Sometimes, some people just won't listen. What do you do with them people? You just let them, you know what? Let them come in the park every day and let her build up and not mow it and just go around it. And then the good people that use the park, they're walking and they step in it. And they step in another one. Then I get complaints. Well, why ain't you cleaning it up?
This is the job for the administration and the law department to take care of, not the workers. Your job is to turn the person.
I'm not working when I do this.
Are you picking it up when you're working?
Yes.
When you're doing it when you're working, you're picking it up.
I put it in a bag.
Maybe he's doing him a favor, though. Maybe he's saving him from a summons and going to court and costing him a lot of money. He just got to clean up the...
As soon as I told him he would get a $500 fine, he can't. He's been pretty decent.
What's going to happen one day when you cross the path of someone who might kick the shit out of you for doing it?
Yeah, I've had my ass beat quite a few times in my life. You know what? I fight back too.
Oh, I could tell. I could tell you.
You know what? If someone wants to beat me, they can go ahead and beat me. I'm just going to beat them back.
Beat you in a bag of shit. He might beat you in that bag of shit. Then what are you going to do?
Well, then guess what? Then he'll be eating the shit.
Oh, 3...
I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to take anybody's crap.
Literally. Thanks for your call. 333-3020. When you dial in and we pick up the phone, hang on and we'll get to you. 333-3020, Roger Spurback. You're making me laugh tonight. Hi, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, you're
I
right.
give this guy a lot of credit.
Yeah?
Yeah. Nobody would address such an issue.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that everybody shies away from. When stray dogs come and crap on my lawn, it's totally disturbing. So I give you a lot of credit for coming forward. I mean, you're a brave man.
No, I've been around the block. And when I was a president of the Block Club Council, I used to take graffiti off, and I used to get confronted by the drug dealers in the city. They used to pull guns out and play their little games because I was touching their graffiti, the Bloods and the Crips, the Latin Kings and the 9th Street Boys. I could care less. You know what? If you got a gun, then fire it.
Well, that's kind of.
You know what? It's my time. It's my time.
Oh God.
That's the way it is. I'm not going to back down when I'm trying to get something accomplished that's going to, I don't think old ladies that come into the park should have to step in this stuff. I don't think that you and your neighbors have to put up with it when you have a neighbor that if you go to, and I've been to some of these places, the whole yard is full of dog crap. Because they're lazy.
I've been to houses that are full
Yes.
of dogs. Inside,
Yes.
it's full of, yeah.
Irresponsible, negligent people. You know what, Sal? They want to teach me a lesson. Go ahead and teach me a lesson. I'm a big boy.
Do you, caller, do you ever, I mean, I know I'm pretty upset when someone leaves dog crap in my yard and they step in it or one of the kids or something. It does upset me, but I mean, I'm not, I mean, what he's doing is probably a little unorthodox, but still, does it get results? Is it getting
Gets results. It's gotten results. I have a woman that comes in every morning and has been doing it for 8 years, and she's been picking up dog shit.
Caller, if somebody came to your house every day, walked their dog down your street, and the dog took a dump on your lawn, and you told them to stop doing it, and they kept doing it, what would you do?
Punch him in the mouth.
I guess that answers the question.
I guess.
Sooner or later, you get to a point there you have to go forward or just put up with it.
How about call the police? I mean,
You
right.
can call the
the
police.
police is maybe the best way.
But you know
Nobody
what?
gets in trouble, and maybe the situation will get solved.
And you know what? 90% of the time they'll go to his house and he'll say, that wasn't me. That was someone else's dog. That wasn't me. That was not me. I don't walk on that side of the road, even though they do it. And then you got 4 or 5 neighbors complaining about the same thing because I've been there in neighborhoods just like
Well, they used to, I don't know, caller, if you know, Roger was the block club president in Niagara Falls. And he dealt with the gangs and a lot of people, and they kind of likened him to Curtis Sliwell out in New York City. You confronted a lot of people during your time.
I confronted them. I confronted prostitutes when prostitutes had their little boys coming from Buffalo and they'd pull up on 19th Street in the car. The prostitute would jump in the car and I would go over and take a picture of the driver. And he would say, he'd roll a window down and say, who do you think you are? I said, guess what? After I run your license plate, I'm going to get your address. And then I'm going to send these pictures to your wife. So don't come back here again, and we'll just forget this ever happened. And guess what? It cleaned it up for a while, because on parts of 19th Street, they used to have certain types of graffiti that people could identify where you're coming into an area of prostitution. They used to have that type of graffiti.
Yeah.
And they work with the gangs.
There was there was graffiti that told you you're coming into an area of prostitution? There was graffiti that showed you you're coming into an area?
Yes. It was on the
Could I ask what that would be?
it was on the side of the topper and at the other end.
And what was it?
It was basically the Bloods and the Crips had this thing, and there was a money bag. And the money bag was shaped
Like
a penis.
I never saw it. Caller, did you ever see that?
And you know what? Here's the thing. The thing is, I'll dig through my computer, Sal.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, in my computer, I've taken pictures of slumlord houses that 90% of them are owned by the city of Niagara Falls because they take them in rem, because the taxes aren't paid, and they don't ever take care of them. So myself and a couple other people in the block clubs, we took hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pictures. And we took it to the city council, showed them it, and they said, well, we don't have the money to take care of it. But yet they could knock down a few houses and spend $50,000 to mow the lot that was 18 inches tall, and that was taxpayer money to pay someone to mow the lot, but they couldn't take care of the house. And they board it up, but there was a secret to that. You only board the first floor. leave the second floor open.
Well, I think that was because it cost too much.
No, that's because pigeons used to fly into second floor, and you know how much it cost during the demolition to remove pigeon excrement?
No.
Probably about $1,300 to $1,500.
We
That's
should've-
included in the demo cost.
We should have got you out there to bag it and deliver it somewhere.
Sal, you know what? When you look at all of the things, the problems have been there. I was there since 1992. The problems are still there.
The caller left. We're at 333-3020. Roger Spurback's with us. Well, at least I'm getting a laugh tonight. So what? 333-3020. Dial it carefully. All right. So, what's your next project? Are you doing? I mean, other than the parks, are you doing no more block clubs? No more.
No more block
You mean in a
clubs.
town of Niagara, they never asked you to get involved with the block clubs or anything, or don't they have them there, or don't they need them there?
Yeah, they
Or-
have one down at Belden Center. I started that years and years and years back. It's still there. They do their cleanups and everything. They're active when something needs to be cleaned up. But, you know, you have to have volunteers. And here's the thing, Sal. The thing is, in today's world, the only ones who want to volunteer are the old ladies that are 70 to 80 years old that are retired and have nothing to do. They want to just get
yeah,
involved.
People don't want to get involved. That's basically, and we see that in election time.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You got 40,000 voters, you have 7 come out, 5, 6, you know, I mean, people don't want to get involved. And so how do you change things?
You know what? Here's the problem, Sal. The problem is, and I hear this all the time, people won't vote, but yet they'll complain when their street is not plowed or their street doesn't get paved.
Sure.
When they don't understand that there's a budget, how much it costs to pave the street, how much work goes into the equipment cost, and the asphalt, and the roller, and Sal, this is no small city. It was built for 100,000 people. It's got 250 miles of roads, 500 miles of sidewalk. So you're a politician, okay? You're going to hear the complaints. How come you didn't do my street? How come you didn't do my street? You got to give them time. I mean, now that I've been there, I understand more about what it basically takes. And a lot of people like to complain, but if you complain, you got to do follow-up. And I remember that going back, and I joined the board of Neighborhood Housing Services. And that was when John Marino was there. He was running neighborhood housing.
Okay.
He had a little building on 19th Street. A little building that's now a convenience store up by Niagara.
Okay.
And, that was 19th Street. 24th Street, excuse me. Behind the wrestling club. And he moved into the Ferry Avenue School and completely rebuilt that for seniors. And then he went and built houses down on 24th and 25th. And then he moved on to the next project, and he did 22nd Street and South. 9 housing units.
Is that good?
Of course it was good.
So
You know what
wait a
was
minute.
over there?
But this is low-income housing. You think it's
Some
you
of
think
it
it's
was,
a good
but all of it wasn't.
You think it's a good idea to bring more low-income
No.
housing into the city?
No, the Carol Colpoys apartments are for seniors, old seniors. And so is, there's housing that he did by the old high school. Next door, across the street from the center that just redone, he did an entire 2 blocks. The fences are still up. The yards, the landscaping, the people take care of them because he did it. He said, I have faith that you're going to take care of this. And then people are still there, and they're still taking care of it.
Is the city taking care of the city? What are they doing? You know, we're hearing about crime. We're hearing about all kinds of things going on in the city. People are afraid to walk at night and everything. Now, you were block club president. Are they addressing these things, or this is all just? I mean, since you left, how long you been gone now?
5 years.
And since you left, has this all just gone to the wayside?
Well,
Nobody
when I was
cares,
there,
or
I
what?
had 43 block clubs. I went to.
Are there block clubs now?
I don't know how many there are. I talked to Norma. She seems like she's coming and going to the meetings, but you got to remember, she's getting as old as I am. Oh, she's a little older than I am. But as you age, some of these things fall by the wayside.
I talked to a person the other day. He says, there are two people in the car. I was talking to them, and they said, they held up a shirt. Said, we're peacemakers. Peacemakers any good?
Is it under a grant?
I don't know
Is
what
the
it's
grant
under.
sustainable? Let
I
me
don't
tell you
know
about a
that.
grant.
I think it's free. I don't think they get paid.
No, it's probably free, but there's got to be grant money involved for organizational purposes.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
You got to buy shirts and hats and, whatever they carry. You got to give them training.
Do you know anything about the peacemakers?
Huh?
Do you know anything about?
I knew when the peacemakers were out in Buffalo. I went out there to see them. And
what's their position? What do they do?
They watch out for crime. They try to talk to the kids that they see that's suspected of drug activity, and they try to talk them and see where they're coming
Didn't you do
from.
that when you were in the block clubs?
Huh?
Didn't you do that when you were in the block?
I did that when I was in the block clubs. Yes, I did. I had neighborhood patrols, citizens that patrolled. We didn't get involved. And the only way that we could get involved, because I taught the class on having a neighborhood watch. The only way that you could get involved is if I was out on patrol and somebody was committing a felony. He was actually committing a rape. I wouldn't be able to possibly wait till call the cops. So would I intervene or turn around and run away? That's your option. And a lot of people called cops. A lot of people turned in suspected drug activity. When John Cella was here, and all you got to do is talk to Brian Del Porto. Brian was a good friend of mine because he used to come to all of our meetings in neighborhoods. In 20 years, Sal, I attended 30,000 meetings. I can substantiate that. Between block clubs, meetings every night of the month, I went to city meetings with politicians, with department heads, with wannabe politicians. For complaints, I went to people's houses. And the one time I went to a house over on 19th Street, I was seen leaving, and they went back and burned the guy's porch down that night. And I went over there the next day.
Because the guy came to talk to you?
No, I went to his house because he was unable to leave his house.
Right, but I mean, the reason they burned his porch is because he told them
Yes,
about
they seen me leaving. Mm-hmm. And they thought that he was turning them in for illegal drug activity, which at the time was crack.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so,
And
people are definitely afraid of reprisal. That's one of the things why people don't say anything. You don't say anything,
Well, you know what? The neighborhood called me up after she was arrested and charged for arson, and they donated almost. It was probably about $1,400. I went over there and put American flags in his yard, a new fence up, all landscaping, bushes in, put a nice porch on the front. He was a veteran. A World War II, I believe, veteran. He was great what he was doing, but he couldn't leave his house because he was very, very alone. And he didn't know where else to turn. So, them things are happening. There will be reprisals sometimes.
Well, the thing in this town, when things happen, a lot of the times, and I talk to a lot of police officers who tell me, people won't say, they pretend they didn't know about it.
That's right.
I mean,
I see nothing. I hear nothing. I see nothing.
yeah.
Why don't they know about it? It's because it's a cousin, a friend, a niece, a nephew, a brother of a brother of a sister, whatever, and they don't want it. I had that stuff go on in the block clubs when I started saying, okay, give us an address. Then I started seeing drug dealers coming to the block club meetings. because they wanted to hear who was getting turned in. So then we changed our strategy and did it a different way. And it worked. We took down a lot of people on Paris Avenue. You remember the big bus on Paris Avenue that was the Bloods and the Crips? And then the Ninth Street Boys over here. They were just tearing this neighborhood apart. John Cella took care of that. But we had a lot of meetings. Identified them through graffiti.
But you still, right now, I don't know, maybe because you're not there spearheading, a lot of times when there's a problem in the neighborhood, nobody knows anything.
I see nothing. I know nothing.
Well, you're right about that, because Sal, they're afraid. And, you have to give them an option. If you know something, just call. There's another way to do it where we won't give your name out. We won't fill out a report. No one's going to know who you are. But you got to remember, some of the people that won't talk are some of the violent people. They're the bad people too.
Yeah, they're involved. In a lot of cases, they are involved.
I mean, why are you down there when a shooting happens?
We don't need the police. We'll take care of it our own self.
Yeah, that's the America's way.
We're talking with Roger Spurback. Used to be the block club president. Now he's delivering packages from the parks in the town of Niagara. Let's get real for a moment. When you're looking for a home appliance repairman, what do you look for? Well, in most cases, you look for someone who can do the job honestly and do it correctly the first time. Then you look for someone who's reasonable, someone who's going to give you a fair price for the work he does. Well, I got one that's even better than that. He'll give you the best price you're going to ever hear. His name is Chris Moore, and his service call is $35. Got a problem with the stove, refrigerator, freezer, washer, dryer? Hey, you name it. If it's a home appliance, Chris can fix it, and he does it for a $35 service call, plus the cost of the parts and installation. Now, I don't know of any other repairman who's had as much experience, over 30 years, as Chris Moore, who will come to your home for a $35 service call. Once you have Chris at your house, you're going to want him back again and again and again, and you're going to recommend him to all your friends and relatives. So you want to have that phone number handy. So what do? Well, let's update. Let's not put it on a piece of paper and stick it somewhere where it's going to get lost or fall off, dry up, and disappear. Put it in your cell phone where you know you can find it when you need it, because someday you will need Chris Moore's number. It's 523-5911. Chris Moore's Appliance Repair. $35 service call, plus the cost of the parts and installation. 523-5911. Put that in your cell phone right now. At the Wellness Park Pharmacy at 86th and Buffalo Avenue and the Community Medical Pharmacy on Michigan Avenue just off Main Street, you're not just another customer, and your needs are important. To them, you're a somebody.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
Now under new ownership, both pharmacies will see to it that you get the personal service that you deserve. Want to give them a try? Then call right now, 260-1918, and tell them you want to switch your prescriptions over to the Wellness Park Pharmacy or Community Pharmacy in Niagara Falls. They'll make all the phone calls to make it happen. And both pharmacies offer free home prescription delivery. And when you have them on the phone, be sure to ask about their wide selection of CBD products. Available in creams, oils, gummies, and much, much more. Get all the details today by calling 260-1918. The Wellness Park Pharmacy at 86th and Buffalo Avenue and the Community Medical Pharmacy on Michigan Avenue just off Main. Call 260-1918.
Where everybody knows your name, everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. Where everybody...
Hey, we're talking to Roger Spurback. He used to be the block club president in Niagara Falls. Moved on to some other things, but still got his finger in stuff.
Yes,
Now,
I
you,
do.
you're looking back, it's been, you said 5 years since you've been with Niagara. Incidentally, we still have about 20 minutes left on a Wednesday night, 333-3020. If you want to give Roger a call, I just checked. We got 129 people watching live right now. 333-3020 if you want to get in and say something to Raj, good or bad, whatever you think. Or if you got a comment about the city or whatever, dial the number carefully. A reminder, all these shows will be up on YouTube. All the pertinent shows we have, including this one, because it's funny, will be up on YouTube. All you do is go to YouTube and look up Niagara Broadcast Network. The show will hit tonight. The rest of them are up there. Monday, Glenn Chalokian will be here with the third part of his series of why he should become mayor. Now, Glenn has taken advantage. I've offered all the candidates an opportunity to come on the air. So all you got to do is call me. We'll put you on. In fact, all the mayoral candidates said, I will let you know. I'll give you a call. I'll let you know after the primary. I'll come on. Haven't heard a response yet from Mr. Elder or Mr. Restino as far as coming on. Glenn has taken advantage right along. Said he has a series of videos to explain what he wants to do, and his third one will be on Monday night.
Which is good.
What do you think of what's going on with this election, Roger? You spend a lot of time dealing with the politicians in the city.
I've dealt with a lot of politicians.
Is there an answer here? Are we making any leeway? What's going on?
Well, here's the problem, Sal. For many, many years, my motto was to build bridges. When I talk to a politician, they'd say, yeah, that's a good idea. But then instead they built tunnels against any good idea because it wasn't theirs. I said, look, you can take the idea and run with it and then pat yourself on the back. Yeah, I don't care what you call it. You can call it your idea. You can say it was your daughter's idea. You can say it was anybody's idea, but it can work.
Okay, we have a, $12 million deficit.
$12 million deficit.
How do we, if you were the mayor, how would you combat that?
Well, number one, Sal, there's a couple ways of combating it. Number one, downtown is for tourists. But when tourists come here, and everybody knows the same thing I'm about to say, after they see a festival and see the falls, there's nothing to do except go to the casino. And here's the thing. Years ago, we said, why don't you do this? This would be a good idea. Why don't you go to Rochester Children's Museum and duplicate it? Because you ever been to that children's museum there?
No, but
it's spectacular.
No, but Raj, I've been listening to this for 20 years.
Of course.
We're going to bring in this. We're going to read. We're going to get people in here. We're going to develop. It doesn't happen. I don't know if they're not asking, if they're not cooperating when somebody says they want to do something. It's not happening. And what makes you believe it's going to happen now?
Well, I've seen some progress.
What, because we have hotels?
No, not just the hotels.
To me, people are going, hotels are popping up.
Okay.
To me, hotels is not progress.
Here's my progress.
Especially when they're tax exempt.
Here's my progress. Let's turn our progress to neighborhoods. Let's take some of these landlords and put them in jail that are the slumlords that want to steal and keep on raising the rent of some of the poor people. Sal,
okay,
look,
you just bring up a sore subject. What about this garbage fee? Think it's going to go through? Do you think it's a good idea?
You know what? I think right now, because they've made such a big thing, and here's the thing. How can you have a $12 million deficit if the governor just promised to give Niagara Falls $10 million?
But that just bails us out for a while. It doesn't solve the problem.
Okay.
A few months later, that $12 million will be there, and you'll be in debt again. Unless you change something. What are we changing?
Well, number one, some of the money that goes into tourism should go back to fund some of the police department. Because some of that money going down into hotels, guess what? When they need the police, who do they call? They call the police.
Can we afford to lay off cops?
No.
Can we afford to lay off firemen?
No.
Okay,
No. Why can't you afford to lay off firemen? Look around where the vacant houses are. Every day you're turning around, a vacant house is getting burned, probably by a slumlord that has insurance in another state, so he can try to collect twice on it, insurance fraud. There's a lot of different things that could be done. One of our things was, when you tear down a house, why don't you give the property to the people next door with the understanding that it will not be taxed for 15 years?
Well, you know what? They made a deal where they said, if you have a vacant house next to you, we'll let you buy it if you take care of it for $500. Well, I know a person that's got a condemned house that's been condemned next to them for 9 years. The person has been calling and calling and calling, and they never respond to give him an answer why he cannot buy that property. And he's not asking for a tax break. He wants to pay the $500, and he'll pay the taxes on the property. In 9 years, he hasn't gotten an answer.
Hopefully, the city expects to sell it at an in-run auction. But I've been
9 years? 9 years?
I've been to them in-run auctions, and the same people that caused the problem, the same landlords that don't even live in this state, that travel here to buy the property, then move, go back home and collect the rent. And the deal was, the block club set up landlord licensing. One of the things when we set that up was, if you're a homeowner with 2 apartments or more, you will pay a $25 fee a year. That will identify everyone in the city.
And they set up a housing court. Did they ever do anything?
The housing court used to be good when when Judge Marino was running it. I've been to his court. He called us up to the dais a couple of times to talk about, here's a woman that was cited for a porch falling down on her head, but she was sitting there with a fur coat and 3 Cadillacs outside waiting to take her home. And she lived like in Salamanca. And Judge Marino said, well, guess what? Then you're going to put a bond on that. You're going to put a bond on it before you leave the courtroom. So that house will be maintained and fixed.
Do we have any action housing court now?
I heard there was one, but I really can't answer that.
I don't know if you answered. Did you say the garbage fee was a good idea, bad idea?
No, the garbage fee is a bad idea. Because let's talk about the town. We got the garbage cans for nothing. Because we created a deal that if you give us the garbage cans, double the size of the recyclables, you don't have to empty them every week, every 2 weeks. You know how much money that saves Republic?
I think Donna Owens, who made the garbage deal originally, was way out of base, didn't know what she was doing, my opinion, didn't know what she was doing, gave us a bad deal. Then we bought the totes. I think if you would have said to the garbage company, you want the contract, you give us the totes.
That's right.
They didn't.
That's right.
I mean, they paid for them.
And then the recyclables, you're picking them up in these little bins, pick them up in a big one. Here's the thing. If the city is in crisis, you've been collecting those big bins for a couple of years now, is that correct? Where is the recyclables being sold to? I thought there was big money into that, but they were going to take the oil out of plastic. They were going to sell the metals. They were going to do this, that, and the other thing.
I think they kind of backed off on that recyclable.
I think Donna Owens, she was a very nice woman. I think that when she flew up here, though, I think she spent too much time in the air. There's fog. Because when you go to another city, you got to look at...
They say sometimes you bring in the expert from afar, and they say things, and they go, oh, she's from, I don't know, Philadelphia. She must know what she's talking about. And they listen, and they just kind of believe what these people say.
But you have to go back and look at what actually did they accomplish. Not just talk, not just wishy-washy, oh, I'm going to do this and this and this. Guess what? Why isn't anybody running against Lee Wallace? You know why? Because he's accomplished more in his 4 years than anyone I've ever seen. That is a fact.
Lee Wallace, in all due respect, I work for the guy. work in the town, and Lee Wallace is a respectable guy. He does what he says he's going to do. He's fair to everybody.
Yes.
And you could approach him. You got a problem, you got a question or something, you could go in there, see Patty or himself and his wife, and say, hey, look, I got to talk to Lee. And the door's open. Come in. What's the problem? What do you got to, I mean, I've had disagreements, and I went to talk to him, and the guy's a fair guy.
And here's the thing. If he has a project that he wants to contemplate doing, he comes and talks to the people that are going to be involved in the projects. And he comes and takes their opinion, and he makes phone calls. He talks to the employees.
Are we missing the boat in the city?
Yes.
Who can straighten this out? Now, you see we got 3 candidates. Do you see any light with any of these 3 candidates? Do you see a light at the end of the tunnel? Do you see a possibility, or you're still waiting to see a little more what they have to say?
Well, here's the thing, Sal. Unless someone is going to come in and take a hardcore approach at not saying, okay, I'm going to do another study, that the studies are on the wall with dust on them. I'm going to take a study. I'm going to look at the study. Things have changed since that study was done. So guess what? You go home and I do studies all the time. Guess what? I get on the internet and I look and I search and I go to Philadelphia and I go.
If everybody writes in Roger Spurback for mayor, and you win, you get into January 1st. What would you do? What was the first thing you'd do?
We're gonna. You know what? I'm gonna put about 400 people on buses. I'm going to go to Albany and stand in front of the governor's office with every person that cares about this city. And we're going to tell the governor, you need to help us. You need get out of that executive chair, and you need to come down here, and rather than meet all the other politicians, you meet with us. Because you know who did that for me? Elliot Spitzer. When he came to Niagara Falls, he said to all the politicians in the room, I want to talk to all these block club people. Out. Out. He brought us money. Tried to take care of crime, $375,000. He brought block clubs money. He helped us with a lot of different areas. He took us to Albany to show us how other communities are doing things. And we learned. But then when we brought those projects home.
People are saying, you keep saying, the state's got to help us, the state's got to help us.
No, I didn't say the state's got to help us.
I didn't say you did. People are saying this. The state's got to help us. And other people are saying, what more do you want the state to do?
What's more do you want the state to do? Sal, all you got to do is this. There's about 1.5 million $20 lottery tickets sold every few minutes. They're also, they've learned the system of psychology.
That goes into the school system.
Okay, forget about this now. Wait a minute. Then there's Quick 4, Quick 3, Quick 5, twice a day. And then there's New York State-run casinos. And there's so much money in Albany.
Yeah, I never know where that money goes.
I see it all the time.
But I don't know where it goes.
They give grants out. They give grants to the school to say, take care of bullying. Guess what? When the grant's done, those paid people that took the money and said, I'm going to teach you about bullying, they're gone. Sal, they're gone. After the money runs out, it's not sustainable unless you give me more money. And the thing is, bully still continues. We're going to build the kids' egos up. Guess what? I remember that grant. It was about $15,000. A grant that the city got to do the front of the library. Volunteers are going to put all these plants in. And guess what? Guess what? They didn't maintain them and it looked horrible. So the other day, they hired somebody to come and rip them all out. Perennials.
I heard that, yeah.
Perennials.
I heard that.
And you know what? As soon as I found out that he was just throwing them in a dump truck, I scooted my butt over there and I got some.
And what are you going to do with them?
I'm going to plant them in the park behind the Veterans Memorial, and they were beautiful, beautiful, beautiful perennials. But they were going into trash.
They're going to the town of Niagara.
Hey, you know what? And in about 5 years, they're going to be 5 times the size. I'll have color there because volunteers gave up on the project because no one made a plan before they handed in the money and said, how are you going to water those? Oh, these
What I
plants
see-
will grow without water.
And I see the town of Niagara has people in trucks every morning going up and down Military Road watering plants that they have out there.
Yeah, you see me out there too.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yes. And guess what? Are the plants well taken care of?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
And I trim them,
And
and I take care of them.
And there's no dog poop around them, I don't see.
Well, that's another story for another day.
Hey, we're coming right back. Closing statements from Roger Spurback. I like to call this the fun time of year. It's time for entertaining and to visit with friends and relatives and to pick out a special gift for a certain someone. You know what that makes it? It makes it the perfect time to visit Supermarket Liquors and Wines, Niagara's largest liquor store with all your favorites to choose from at Niagara Falls Boulevard and Military Roads. Now, if you want a preview, you can check them out online right now at supermarketliquor.com. They're open 7 days a week, late nights, Friday and Saturday till midnight, with plenty of free, brightly lit parking in front of the store. And there's always plenty of cashiers there to speed you on your way if you're in a hurry. But if you want to browse, it's Niagara's largest liquor store with great gift-giving ideas and selections, whether it's wine or liquors. You know, when you're as big as Supermarket Liquors and Wines, a great gift doesn't have to be expensive. And you can see what I mean when you check out their specially custom bottled tequila and bourbons, handpicked by owner Chris Castellani at Supermarket Liquors and Wines. Supermarket Liquors and Wines in the Mill Pine Plaza on Niagara Falls Boulevard, just moments from the Fashion Outlet Mall. Visit them soon or check them out right now at supermarketliquor.com.
Only your locally owned Cub Cadet dealer has genuine parts, accessories, trained service technicians, and the widest selection of innovative Cub Cadet products. We're here for you whenever you need us, with expert service and support to keep your equipment running at peak performance for years to come. Take advantage of exceptional financing at your local Cub Cadet dealer today.
Stop by your locally owned Cub Cadet dealer, Niagara Lawn and Garden Equipment, today.
Stop out and see Mike Richards and the guys at Niagara Lawn and Garden on Saunders Summit Road, just off Military. They've got a whole shipment of the new Cub Cadet snowblowers. I hate to mention this, Roger, but snowblowers,
They're coming.
We got to think about it, and some great deals on the lawnmowers that are going out. So stop out and see them. Now's the time to do it. Roger, interesting show,
You know
funny.
what,
You made me
Sal?
laugh. You made me laugh, Falco.
What I wanted to say was, look, I have only confronted 4 different people. And the rest, because they were non-conforming. This has been going on for years. But you know what? Here's the good thing. I now on my mower take bags with me. And when I see someone walking their dog without a bag, I say, here's a bag. As a matter of fact, here's a few of them. And here's what I'm going to be doing.
Hand it to him.
I'm going to be buying a couple $100 worth of Tim Hortons cards.
Really?
$10 cards.
You are or the town?
I am.
Really?
And then I'm going to give them out when I see someone that gives that is a respectful pet owner, because that's something that won't get on my lawnmower and smell when I'm eating my lunch.
Oh, man. Rod, it's been a pleasure having you. You're welcome to come back anytime. You make me laugh. You have some valid points. I'm still, maybe one more time before the election, maybe we'll get an idea what you think. And
yeah, because I'm still like eyeing the candidates, because I know Glenn. Glenn's a good man. As a matter of fact, we were going to do a project together years ago on having the city do its own demolitions. But that fell by the wayside. And then, you know, the former judge, Mr. Marino, he's a very decent guy. I'd just like to say this in closing. And I seen the thing go down.
Yes, the time went down.
Whoever the new mayor is, please do not hire former people that are already retired and they're going to come in looking for a job, because they have the answers. The answer that I tell them is, wait a minute, you had your chance and you failed. Don't come knocking at the door. Sal, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Raj. This program will be up on YouTube later tonight, and it will be repeating for the next couple of days. And stop out and see Roger in the town of Niagara Park. Glenn Chalokian Monday, third of his plan.